Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to week 27 of your SAT Math Prep lessons. Again, this week we're going to be dealing with circle questions, similar to last week. We're going to look at one less example, but we're going to look at some ones that have not quite as nice answers or are slightly more difficult than last week. So hopefully you still have your notes from last week, as they might come in handy on your skill check this week as well. So let's get down to business here. Again, make sure you're taking all the notes provided in the video so that you have them available to you when it's time to do your skill check. Example 1 says that in circle O, which means that O is the center of the circle shown, the length of OB is 21. What is the length of arc BDA? So, what they've given us when they tell us that OB is 21 is that the radius of the circle is 21. Now, when we're looking at what are we trying to do here, the arc BDA starts at B, passes through D, and comes around to A. So that is the major arc consisting of these three angles combined. Now, we can use our skills from geometry. We should know that angle BOD is vertical to the 84-degree angle provided, so it is also 84 degrees. And we should know that angle COD, this angle here, would be 180 minus 84, which would be 96 degrees. So when we're looking at what is the total central angle for that arc that we're trying to find, we would need to add 84, 96, and 84 together, which would give us a central angle measure of, let's see here, add those up. So 84 plus 84 plus 96 is a central angle of 264 degrees. Now the reason we need that is that we're going to be setting up a proportion. Arc length is to circumference as central angle is to 360. Now the other thing that we can find based on the radius is the circumference, because circumference is 2 times pi times r. So that's 2 times pi times 21, which means the circumference is 42 pi. So if we plug in what we know, we have the proportion L, the arc length, what we're trying to find, is to 42 pi, as 264 is to 360. We can cross multiply. 42 times 264 would give us 11,088 pi equals 360 times L from that cross product. Then we are going to divide each side by 360 to get our arc length, and we get that L is 30.8 pi. So we need to convert this into a fraction. Now on your yellow calculators, that is as simple as having 30.8 in your calculator and hitting the double arrows button. So we need to convert that into a fraction. That is equivalent to 154 pi over 5, which is the arc length we're looking for, so the answer is C. Example 2 says in circle A, the measure of angle CBD, that would be this angle right here, that angle is 37 degrees. Actually, I don't want to write it right there now that I think about it. Okay, that angle is 37 degrees. It says, what is the measure of angle CAD? So CAD is this angle in here, the central angle. So we need to notice that angle CBD is an inscribed angle intercepting arc CD, which means that the measure of arc CD is 2 times the measure of angle CBD. So since we know that number, we're supposed to take the 37 and plug that in to get that the measure of arc CD is equal to 74 degrees. So this arc is 74 degrees. Well, then we need to know that this measure of the central angle is always equal to its intercepted arc. And angle CAD is also intercepting that same 74 degree arc, which means that the measure of angle CAD is equal to the measure of CD. It is also 74 degrees. The correct answer is D. All right, now again, what makes that difficult is that we've got all those things all on top of each other in that picture. We've got to be able to recognize that that is an inscribed angle and a central angle that both intercept the same arc. All right, moving on to the third and final example of these notes. It says in circle A, X is 105 degrees and arc BDC, that's this arc from B through D to C, has length 68 pi. It says, what is the length of arc BC? So, we need to figure out the circumference of the circle, because that's the only thing that we do not know in our proportion. Arc length is to circumference as central angle is to 360. Okay, the 105, that's my X. Okay, that's 105. I've got that number. And the problem is I don't know the arc length, which is what I'm trying to find, and I also don't know the circumference. But what we can do is we can figure out that if this angle is 105 degrees, that the rest of the circle is 360 minus 105 degrees, or 255 degrees. And the reason why that would be useful is because if I know that that angle is 255 and the arc length is 68 pi, then I can set up this proportion and use it to find the circumference. So I cross multiply, which gives me 255C equals 360 times 68 pi is 24,480 pi. Then I can divide each side by 255. So 24,480 divided by 255 is 96, which means the circumference of the entire circle is 96 pi. Now from there we can either set up the proportion again to find the arc length for BC, or we can realize that the yellow arc and the pink arc make up the entire circumference together, which means that the length of arc BC is equal to the circumference minus the length of the major arc BDC, which would be 96 pi minus 68 pi. And we can treat the pi like a variable and just do 96 minus 68 to get an answer of 28 pi, or A. So the correct answer to this question is 28 pi, which is A. Okay, folks, now the skill check is going to be similar to last week as well. You might want to have both sets of notes. Hopefully you brought your other plug time stuff with you. And now if you didn't, that's okay. The three that are here should give you a decent idea of how to approach these problems. Remember, the key here is this proportion here. Arc length is to circumference as central angle is to 360. That is the key idea for these arc length questions that you are facing. Okay, between that and the fact that central angles are equal to their arc and inscribed angles are half of their arc, you should be able to answer any question that's thrown at you today. So again, make sure that you are taking your time on the skill check. There are timers, but those timers are only there to keep you mentally prepared for how long you have per question on the actual SAT. They do not affect your score in any way at all. Thank you very much for your time and attention.